#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The engineer, Harisi Ali Said, is here with me in studio, the president of Young Africans SC.
It's easy for me to bring any player, even from South Africa.
Top striker?
Top striker.
Top goal scorer right now?
Robert, you're killing me now.
Changing and re-engineering sports on the continent and the world.
Coach Kwanele Kopo, that when you talk in the post-match yesterday and you repeat the fact that the actions were not normal.
We're playing against a team that is playing for promotion. If we do anything out of the ordinary, there's going to be speculation that we did something wrong. And something out of the ordinary happened. We conceded 4 goals in the first half.
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Ongene ngestina uyophuma ngestina. Stin in, stin out.
Bengifuna ukuthatha sihlukene, bengifuna ukukhumbuza mase ukhohliwe ukuthi sihlukene.
Mama bengakakhona.
Sihlukene.
Yona ngeke ngikhohle leyo, phela kaze ngijabule nje lonyaka phela uqalile.
Sihlukene.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Yes. Italian fans, wherever you are around the country, the continent, as well as the world, how's the heart beating? What's the anticipation for tonight? UEFA Champions League, eh? AC Milan, Inter Milan. The last time I checked out on our man Stefano, he was on a private jet. He lives his life, that man, heading off to the venue. He said, you know what, Rob, if this jet does land and you got the time in between the champagne and everything else, we'll chat to you. We'll give you an update. And why not? We'll cross over live and speak to him because it's a second leg. Anything can happen. The 2-goal deficit, will it be covered? I don't know. But hey, give me your thoughts as well. 060-708-0484, 060-708-0484. That's the WhatsApp voice note number, interactive. And also if you're watching on the YouTube channel, simply go to the YouTube channel, 947/Joburg. It's as simple as that. You can log in your comments, interact with us because it's a bumper of a show today. As I said, from Italy back home. You're live on 947, also live on Rise FM, Vuma FM, and on Sowetan Live. No better platform. We are in conversation. Yeah, I know. Last time we promised we'll deliver and we couldn't. We got greater reason this time to bring him to the fore. I mean, his steady aggression, it kind of got him through his biggest fight of his career and also unscathed. I don't know if it's unscathed, was I saw on TV. I was like, hey, is that Kevin with a couple of, potential blue eye? Huh? Blue eye boy to actual blue eye. So it's like, hey, he'll come through and it'll tell us about his warrior spirit. We saw it at the Emperor's Palace on Saturday night. If you were watching, either if you were there at the venue, please feel free. While he's here, 011-883-8947, 011-883-8947. What was your experience at the fight? Did you expect it? Did you expect the outcome? I mean, the champ is here, Kevin Lerina, who picked up a hard-fought 12th round unanimous decision over Ryad Merhy. So it's what now, 35 or 31 fights, 2 losses, 26 knockouts. Hey, of the Belgian to win the WBC bridgerweight silver title. Mr. Two Guns. I mean, the eliminator box as well as the dying tournament was explosive. I mean, the fight was a nightmare to score at times with several of these swing rounds. Lerena came forward throughout the fight. May kind of fought on the back foot. So I think that was part of the plan because that's how they trained. That's how they prepared for the fight. But he's here to tell us all about it. WBC bridgerweight silver champion Kevin Lerina, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Rob. It's been long overdue, and thanks for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
How are you feeling now? I know, what is it, the left eye kind of took a knock. There's a, I mean, it's nothing. You're a fighter, so you're expected to come back with a couple of, bruises here and there, but it's the win that's important.
Put it this way, I feel a lot better than I look. So, no, the win is the most important thing. It's part of the objective to getting the mission accomplished, to winning the WBC green and gold against the Polish Rosinski. But it was a good, hard-fought fight. We knew Murray's a tough competitor. We were meant to fight each other in 2021. That fight fell through. I got injured. I broke my hand in training. And now we made the fight happen 2 years later. Probably both of us bigger, stronger, as it's a new weight division for both of us. Yeah. And I knew Murray was a tough competitor. I knew it would be a hard fight, but I also knew what I had to do to win.
Because you plotted and planned quite a bit. I think we were all expecting something technical. There was talk of it being like almost like a chess match. In the end, it's a case of what you do. I do counter, but you're always going to be on the front foot as opposed to him being on the back foot. And we kind of clearly saw that. Yeah, there was a bit of a turn, I think, around about the 9th round. He started seeing that he might be losing the fight, started wanting to come into it more. But I think you had done the job by then. Did it work according to plan, though, Kevin?
I'd say 90% of the fight went according to plan. The plan was you hit the nail on the head to keep him on the back foot. Yeah. And I'll tell you why, Rob. He can't fight on the back foot. He's extremely strong coming forward. So we studied all his victories, including his only loss, and he lost going backwards. He won going forwards. So we said from the get-go, this is my country, it's Empress Palace. We're going to put him on the back foot, hit him hard, hit him early, and hurt him early. So he respects my power, and then take the fight from there. And obviously there's moments in the fight where he was trying to come forward and counter punch me, which is what he's extremely good at, but we didn't allow that. We took that away from him, and that allowed us to be the aggressors, and that looks good on the judges' scorecards. There were moments in the fights where I had him hurt, and if I look back now in hindsight, could I have taken him out? Most probably yes. But I just always had in mind that he's a terrific counter-puncher, and all his 26 knockouts came from counter-punching guys who were throwing at the same time as him. So I didn't want to make unnecessary mistakes. As I said to you, this was an objective for me. This wasn't the mission accomplished. You know, we got to go on to Poland now, win the green and gold, go to purse bids. So I needed this victory, especially coming off a big heavyweight world title loss. This victory was important for me. So how we did it, well, I was happy with the way we did it, and it was probably one of my better performances, and against a very good opponent.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to that incident in December. I think that obviously did hurt you. It hurt South Africans quite a bit. I'll chat about that. But just, you know, Peter was talking about the plan, your trainer, and it was about a plan well executed. I saw a couple of reports. They were saying it was a cagey, cautious, calculated kind of fight. You know, the Triple C, as it was. For the fans, though, they had your back from beginning to end. You know, not the kind of showman, because like you say, you had to keep it within the objective.
Yes.
Do you feel, though, that you gave as best as you could without maybe exposing yourself to the potential danger in the end?
I think I gave the best of myself with what was in front of me.
Yeah.
Remember, I never had an aggressive guy in front of me. I never had a guy who was coming forward to force the action. I had to go force the action. So that can also make for a boring fight. Luckily, in this case, it didn't.
Yes.
You know, when you got two guys centering, him coming forward and me going forward, we're going to lock in the middle and we're going to have a war. But I felt like I was 90% of the time the aggressor, and doing it for my fans, doing it for the crowd, to erupt at Empress Palace, which they were, which I'm very grateful for. So it just makes a difference. You know, there's a saying that styles make fights, but I also disagree with that, because who you are and the man in front of you is what makes the fight, really. You know, you got to adapt to what's in front of you, and I had to adapt with a guy who was on the defensive back foot, looking for one punch to knock me out. So that's what I had to adapt with. And then obviously he had to adapt with a guy who was putting an onslaught onto him, going forward, coming forward, throwing punches in bunches.
What round was of concern to your corner?
Probably the 12th round. Or if we had to talk through the whole fight, after the 4th round, Peter said to me, because you know the WBC read out the scores.
Yes.
He said, hey, listen, 2 judges have it a draw. 1 judge have you ahead by 2 rounds. You need to pick it up now. So that was a wake-up call for me, because I thought I was ahead for the first 4. I thought I'm cruising to a victory here. And he said, listen, 2 judges have it as a draw. You need to move now. So I think from 4 to 8, I applied more pressure to increase that deficit a little bit more. Then obviously in the 12th round, he came out guns blazing, because he obviously realized he needed to win by a knockout. So at the start of the 12th, I said to myself, just box your way to a victory, get on your bicycle, you're the winner. And then obviously centering, boom, that goes out the window, and then we're trading blows. And he caught me with some good shots, managed to stay on my feet, weather the storm. You know, that warrior spirit within me. For my fans, I said, you know what, there's no repeat of December here.
Yes.
I'm leaving here victorious. And I dug down deep because he came at me hard, and I knew he was going to. And my plan in that 12th was just to box and run. But that's not in my nature. I can't box and run, you know, I like to fight. So, yeah, I'm fortunate that I got through that barrage of punches in the 12th, and we raised our hands.
And they look more dramatic on TV, you know that, right? When they put the slow-mo.
They see the sweat in your jaw going this way.
And it's like, how do you have a straight nose after all of that? Because they look very clean. He got his way through simply because I think it was tied 88 was the time when they started getting a bit worried about your score, and you needed to up your game at that stage. I mean, at the stage even the referee slipped and fell, you know, added to the drama and the mix and everything else. But just on a general chat, and we've had these with Brian and all sorts of other people here on the show, I always look at Emperor's Palace as this doyen of people coming together, wanting to watch boxing at its purest form. Do you believe that has been consistent throughout your journey right now and what you experienced again on Saturday?
Yes, I think obviously it all depends who's fighting.
Yes.
You know, Golden Gloves, Rodney Boom puts on great shows. He really does. Yeah. Golden Gloves put on great shows, and they do good for South African boxing. But I think it's fair to say, and I must be honest, the Lerena army always turns up when I fight. They come in the masses. It's a record sellout for Golden Gloves in terms of Emperor's Palace. You know, they had to force in more tables, allocate more tickets, which shows that there's a desire for boxing in South Africa, and that makes me happy. It means we're doing something right, because many people many years ago maybe said the sport is dying, and I always disagreed with that. I said the sport's not dying, the fighters are there, we just need the right people to back us. And I think boxing in South Africa is very alive. We've got great fighters in our country, and I'm just fortunate enough to be doing it myself and be given the opportunity to showcase my skills.
I was going to say that with the kind of look that you gave, you know, sometimes people go crazy, they jump up and down because they've won. You are more calm, matured about it, and you mentioned something quite important. You talked about a great team, a great trainer, and great sponsors. So you're more reflective as opposed to the showman at the end. And he in turn was also equally supportive. It's not like somebody, when the outcome comes out and he feels aggrieved. So he literally clapped, you quickly moved across to go and greet him and thank him for the fight, whatever pleasantries you guys exchange after fights. But coming back to that, just those three, and I know that sponsors are a big thing. And sometimes people say that they go through their careers, they don't even know what a sponsor looks like. And you've been fortunate enough to have that. Tell me more about what that brings to you and how that makes your load that much lighter.
For sure. Sponsors play a major role in my career. I mean, in all fighters' careers. Obviously, you know, it's got to be a two-way relationship. I mean, let's be totally honest. You're a brand ambassador or a billboard for a company or a big blue-chip company, and they want something in return. But I think I build a lot of my sponsorships based on relationships, and those guys have been with me for a long time. Extremely well-known blue chip brands, you know. I mean, I don't. There's no need to mention them. People know who they are, and they've supported me. They supported me after my loss. You know, that was the biggest thing for me. When you lose, I think you really see who your real supporters are and who the loyal ones are. And I say that seriously, because boxing's a very cutthroat sport. When you winning, riding the crest of a wave, 8 years undefeated, 7-time world champion, almost everybody wants to be on board. But when you lose, that's when you really see who's on board with you, who wants to ride in the same boat as you, or who's happy to just jump off and get on the next rubber duck. You know what I mean? And I saw that, and that's why I gave in my post-fight interview, and after I was victorious, I said, you know what? This is a bigger victory for me than becoming a world champion, because it was important for my career. It was important for my sponsors. It was important for my promoter, Rodney Berman, my trainer, Peter Smith, my family, my friends. And I did it, obviously, for my children. I go out there and I fight for them, you know, to provide for them. But at the end of the day, it was more than that. It was a much-needed victory. And a lot of people said, you're going from a hard fight into a hard fight, you know. I said, you know, this is what boxing's about. You know, we can't sugarcoat. If you want to be the best, go out there and test yourself. Dare to be great. And that's what I did. I almost become heavyweight champion of the world. Now Usyk is fighting Dubois. They're in $1 million purse bids. I missed that boat because I lost. And it's just another way, a step in the right direction. I'm on my way back. And that victory meant a lot to me on Saturday night.
You got to be, because, I mean, you had Dubois down 3 times.
Yeah.
And then on the third round, then he...
Yeah.
Then all that stuff happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people have spoken to me about that fight, and I speak openly about it. I said, well, there's 2 ways this goes. You can go on and look for all the faults in what happened and blame the Board of Boxing Control in UK, blame the WBA for not appealing the decision because of the 3 knockdown rule. But hey, I've got myself to blame. I was in there. I had the opportunity to take him out. I allowed him back into the fight. So now get on with it, deal with it, and move on. And that's the attitude that I had after that loss. I said, get on with it, deal with it, move on. You know, you got to rest on our laurels. We're going to go back and keep talking about, but I knocked him down 3 times. They didn't stop the fight. It's not going to change the outcome. Today, Dubois in purse bids with Usyk for over $1 million. I lost out on that opportunity, and due to a lapse in concentration, I lost that fight. So it was a massive learning curve for me. So that's why the comeback now, and I say it as a comeback, because it's not like I've retired and I've had to come back.
Too young for that.
Yes. It's a comeback in a quest to heavyweight championship of the world again, or bridgerweight championship of the world, because now I know I was literally fingertips away from earning a career high payday, from being the WBA world champion, from being amongst the elites of Tyson Fury's, Usyk's. And I'm just from South Africa, no amateur fights, doing my trade here at Empress Palace under Boxing South Africa. So no one can take that away from me. I know I'll get the opportunity again, and this time when I do put them down 3 times, there won't be a time for round 2.
I love that. I love that, because when you talk about the Tyson Furies, that's who you share the billing with at the Tottenham Stadium in London. And when you're around greatness like that, you are in the same bill, then you think, my goodness, it's within touching distance. I'll find out if it's still emotional for you. Chatting to Kevin Lerina, like I said, I'll take some of your WhatsApp notes if you want to send them through. 011-883-8947. That's the studio number here in studio. Chat to him live if you were at the arena over the weekend. My goodness, from a television perspective, we enjoyed every single moment of that fight.
Marawa Sports Worldwide Live.
In 3, 2, 1.
On 947, Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. #MSW.
How can I get paid easily? If you're in business, you've asked yourself this. At FNB, there's a way for everyone to get paid, and you get to choose. Receive payments using SpeedPoint, or use Speedy QR to generate a scannable QR code on the FNB app. Your customers can even pay using their card or phone directly on your compatible Android smartphone when you use Speedy app. Your business needs payments, so join the changeables and get the help you need. FNB is a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Power, precision, performance. It's no coincidence that so many P's describe the perfect pickup. It's also no accident that the closest you'll get to perfect is the new GWM P Series range. Aside from proven off-road pedigree and luxury interiors, the GWM P Series is the first pickup in SA with a 360-degree camera, semi-autonomous driving, and a sunroof. Visit dealassist.gwm.coza for special offers. GWMP Series, the power of perfect performance.
It's thrilling, it's rewarding, it's Lotto Star's Real Rush Games. Feel a euphoric rush when you spin the reels on Hot Fruit, Wealth Inn, Egyptian Dreams Deluxe, Hayes Sushi, Santa's Village, Looney Blocks, and more. Slot your way to instant payouts of up to 2 million rand with our Real Rush Games. Lotto Star, your world of live games.
Lotto Stars, licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
For almost a century, Robertson's has been famous for flavor. Now it's your turn. Are you known for your flavors? Can you make an ordinary dish extraordinary with Robertson's spices? Then we want to make you famous for your flavor. We've already made 3 home cooks famous. You could be next. Go to whatsfordinner.co.za, follow the steps on the Robertson's tab, and you could win. You and Robertson's, famous for flavor.
You're not just a parent, you're a lifeguard, a chef, and sometimes even a guidance counselor. Being a parent can be challenging. That's why new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets are here to make the job easier. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever anytime, anywhere. Panado, a dose of care.
In my business, I was always told, look before you leap. I'm more like leap before you look. Because if you spend too much time looking, you'll end up not leaping, and besides, the vantage point from the air is much better. So leap, man, leap.
Become a Sage customer like Miles and set up your business to fly with our helpful accounting, HR, and payroll tools. Visit sage.com today. Sage, helping business flow.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
The Pretoria Callies coach, Kwanele Kopo, was left with many questions unanswered after he witnessed his side conceding 4 goals in the first half against Polokwane City. Coach Kwanele Kopo.
We have not conceded 4 goals in a single match this season, let alone in the first half only. So it was very disappointing. It would always raise questions to football followers. And I find myself in the same space as football followers. That how does it happen that we concede 4 goals in one half? It was reported that I said the senior players sold the game, and I challenge anybody who says that to give me those exact words. People have twisted the story. If there was such reporting by the media, it's very, very reckless.
Marawa Sports Worldwide, Monday to Friday weekdays.
Evening Darob, evening to Kevin. Congratulations to Kevin. Just wanted to find out, what informed his decision to move up weight classes to heavyweight, and does he have a roadmap to eventually getting to Tyson Fury and those guys to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? Kaya Koko speaking from Katlehong. Thank you.
Kaya Koko KK, thank you so much indeed. And Katlehong, great question. Kevin Lerina, the champ is here. Great question, because ultimately you want to be there.
Yeah, very good question. So back to the first part of the question was, why did I go up? I'll tell you why. There was nothing left for me at cruiserweight. Okay, the division is very stagnant. There's no real champion since Usyk went up. When I say real champions, money champions. So where there's hype around those guys. And then also, I struggle to make the weight. I walk around at 104. So for me to drop 14 kilograms every fight it's hard and taxing on the body, and it's not healthy. Yeah. So I made the decision to go have a crack at heavyweight. I won my first fight at heavyweight against Bogdan Dinu by KO. And he fought big names like Jarrell Miller. And he's been in training camp with a lot of the big fighters. Then I fought Marius Vach, who also equally fought big names, the 6'9" Polish guy, Marius Vach. Mm-hmm. He fought Klitschko, Dillian White, and he did well against those guys. And I beat him, and that got us the shot at Daniel Dubois. So we went up to test ourselves. I went up to test the waters, and yeah, it's hard to say because we were there. I mean, you speak about the waters we tested. It's not like I wasn't swimming. I was swimming, but it's almost like I got hit by a massive wave that tumbled me back to shore, and we have to reevaluate. So now, going back to the end part of his question is winning this bout, winning the bridgerweight world title, getting a good solid ranking again. I'll get my opportunity, because at the end of the day, when you fight the big names, they want something to go with it. They don't want just a guy with 29 wins and 2 losses. That's just a record. That doesn't take away from your boxing ability, but they want a guy that when they sell that ticket, when they sell that pay-per-view, it makes sense. Because a lot of fighters get criticized for fighting opponents that don't, excuse me for saying it, but don't put asses in seats. Boxing is entertainment business, and that's what they want. So the navigation now is just staying winning, because I realized when I was winning as an heavyweight, I got my title shot, right? So now it's about staying winning, getting the green and gold, and hopefully we get another opportunity within the next couple of months or years. Obviously I don't want to be a journeyman in the sport. I've given myself maybe 4 solid years to capitalize and to do my best for South Africa and to make my country proud. So let's see where it takes us. I'm optimistic.
And it's quite easy to change the fortunes of the crowd. I mean, we've seen Nonjinga going to Mexico, coming back with a world championship, and he turned the crowd in his favor. And I think to a certain extent, even at the Tottenham Stadium in London, you kind of got the support that you didn't get when the fight started.
Yes.
In the end, and a lot of people kind of felt the way that we all felt about the being robbed part.
Yeah.
I mean, it really takes a moment again, Kevin, and with all the hard work I know you always put in, surely you're not surprised by the swing in terms of the support when you're away from home.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The UK newspapers, I think it was the Daily Telegraph and the Sun, the articles the next day were, Dubois saved Lerena robbed. I mean, it was crazy, and that's his home country. The fans were, obviously, the UK, they're loyal, they're patriotic, but a lot of people came up to me. Every person came up to me when I was walking out the stadium and said, "You were robbed, mate." But I never said, I decided not to take that stance. And, because a lot of people, when you lose, it's easy to say, "You were robbed," or "I was robbed," or "I was hard done by." But the boxing, that the people who watch the sport say, "Hey, this guy was kind of robbed."
Yeah.
But I had to then mention something on social media because I got almost slandered for being quiet. People have said, "Why is this guy quiet? Why is he accepting the way he lost?"
Because Rodney and everybody else were very vocal at the end.
And why is he accepting the way that he lost? What something's fishy here. Then I said, "Hold on a minute. I'm just the guy who doesn't complain. I'm a sportsman. I carry on. And if you live your life thinking, or what if I could? What if I didn't? What if I did? You're gonna be haunted for the rest of your life. So you got to let it go." So I've let that go, but I had to come out and say, "Look, I felt like I was robbed, but this is boxing. We've got to move forward."
And you also don't want to be that cry baby that people look at and say, you wanted to be a heavyweight, now you got into heavyweight, and
now he's blaming things. He's blaming the ref. You could blame if I had to sit here now. Well, they ended the first round 10 seconds early when he was hurt. First thing. Second thing, was the fight stopped early? According to the ref's discretion, no. According to other people, yes. So it's my word against their word, but it was clearly obvious. He went down 3 times and the first round ended early. But hey, that's boxing. I knew that the people of the boxing world and those that tuned in saw that. So I didn't need to vocalize that. They know people aren't silly, they're not stupid, they know exactly what's going on. But
just validation in the end, I guess. Let's go to Boxburg quickly. Champ Tinesh is there, wanting to thank you as well for the great job that you're doing. Tinesh, thanks for your time. Thanks for holding on.
Oh, thanks.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, I just wanted to say to the champ, I'm a big fan of his, and we appreciate the work he's doing. But the one thing that stands out for me about him, in comparison to the boxers or the other people you've had on the show before, is even through his social media, whether it's the birth of his kid or him in Dubai, he interacts with us. I think that's one thing that most of our athletes or sportsmen lack in here. They don't use social media for us to interact with them because, we might not be fans of the sport, but we fans of Kevin now, that type of thing. So I think maybe most athletes should maybe take lessons from how he handles the social media.
Sure.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, while you're on, Tinesh, before you drop the line, and you mentioned something important because we had a chat to that when Kevin was supposed to come here the first time, he had to rush to the hospital because his wife was just about to give birth. And what is it now, 5 weeks, Kevin?
5 weeks later.
5 weeks. And again, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Being a dad again and very strong. And what Tinesh is saying makes sense, is that a lot of people shut off. There's this superstardom about them, who are they for me to talk to them, and yet you open yourself up. How come and why is that?
Because I appreciate the people that support me.
Yeah.
They help me get the sponsorships. They help me be the brand I am. So the least you can do is interact with the people that support you wholeheartedly, whether it's boxing, whether it's day-to-day life, or you as a person. I think it's very important to engage with your audience. Obviously, my audience isn't in the millions, so it's a little bit easier for me, but we're looking to go there, and I've always maintained that I want to stay the person that engages with everybody and treats everybody the same, because at the end of the day, the supporters are what make you. If you shunt them or turn your back on them, at the end of the day, who do you have?
Sure.
People who support you are there for you, and they add to your brand, and they're a valuable addition to your brand, and how you treat them is paramount.
All right. Any final word from your side, Tinesh? And let's mention, though, you are Kev Lerina Boxing on Twitter.
On Twitter, and Instagram at Kevin Lerina.
Okay. I know sometimes there's another Kevin Lerina that's there that kind of confuses people, but that person kind of last posted in 2018, which makes it not to be. Yeah, Tinesh, sorry. Your final word.
No, just keep up the good work and keep making us proud.
Thank you.
Nice one. And talking about that space, though, because mental health is quite important in boxing. Talk us through the struggles, though. I mean, you look at boxers, you look at their faces at times. There's a sign at times of desperation. There's a sign of worry. There's concern. There's can I, will I, won't I? And in this world where mental health is spoken about quite a bit. But what's your take on it, given where you are now as a champion?
Boxing is a very lonely sport, Rob.
Yeah.
Let me be honest with you. When I had my loss in December, I got back home, regardless of what I made there, regardless of the magnitude of the event, I felt lonely. I felt alone because I'd lost. You know, when you're winning, you feel like there's just a crest of a wave you're riding with so many people on that wave with you.
Yeah.
But when you lose, you feel alone. So I think boxers do tend to have that sense of being alone if they don't have a good team, if they don't have a good support structure, if they don't have solid fans. And that's where I went back to my fans and my family and my loved ones close to me, because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done and you walk away from the sport, they're the only people there for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the biggest thing in life is, you know, mental health is important in anything in life, your day-to-day life, sportsman's life. But the key is getting rid of yes men in your life. Because there's a lot of people that are going to tell you how great you are.
Hangers-on.
Hanger-oners, and tell you how fantastic you are and you're the champ and you're this and you're that. But when it's all said and done, you don't need those people. You need somebody to sit you down and say, you're behaving like an idiot now.
Yeah.
Put yourself back in line, because that's a true person. And I think the key for me was getting rid of yes men. And I never had to get rid of yes men after December. My career, I sieved away with those people, and I have only close people around me, very close friends, my family, and obviously my team.
Yeah.
And I don't have yes men. I've got people who are honest, legitimate people working a day-to-day job, who are not there for anything, no notoriety. They're just there to see me do well. And those people is what helped me get over my loss, because they were there for me.
Yeah.
And they helped me realize that I'm human and you're not a machine, and it's very hard to please everybody. Because I think the biggest thing for a fighter, when you go out there, you're putting it all on the line, but you're putting it on the line for everybody.
Yeah.
You don't want to let your supporters down. You don't want to let your fans down. You don't want to let your team down. But at the end of the day, you don't want to let yourself down. And when you lose, it's a letdown for everybody.
Yeah.
And the ones that are closest to you, not the yes men people, will always pick you up and tell you how good you are, but they'll also tell you when you're doing wrong.
You almost touched on issues to do with, you know, people, notorious individuals, because at times you find all sorts of people want to be around you because they know you're a boxing champ. And they almost want to bring the so-called imaginary protection around you. You know, so you find people that are bouncers in clubs over the weekends, all of a sudden they want to be close to you, but you don't know them from a bar of soap. But they want to present themselves as that. But also by association. You then present yourself with people that they're associated with that you don't want to associate with. And that becomes a problem. How then are you able to sift through that? Because I'm sure you've gone through that road, you've been down that path before.
Yes.
But just to put a no, and I know you say December gave you a clearer indication of that, but do you believe now that you have?
Most definitely. Like you said, how do you put the sift through that? Well, I'll always be a person I try to be gentleman-like, respect everybody, greet everybody.
Right.
But I just don't take that next step with them, that further engagement, you know. If I know that a person's intentions aren't true and their intentions aren't clear, then I just keep it as simple as to greet them, have manners, show them the respect that they deserve, and then move on. You'll see the people that always want something out of you, and that's when you just got to kind of cut them out. So you'll never be rude, or I never want to come across as rude or arrogant or don't have time for people. But if you just merely greet somebody, show them the respect they deserve, but just continue on with your own, you know, do a little ninja and exit. That's kind of the saying that, hey, I don't want any affiliation with you, but I'll greet you because I'm a respectable guy.
Yeah. Rodney Berman's been wanting the Rosinski fight, to come to SA. Do you believe that he can? Will he?
I think so. I think Rodney Berman, he's a great promoter, especially Africa's greatest for a very long time. And he wants the fight to come here. I mean, he's going to all extents, I believe. He spoke to Peter today. He's going to all extents to raise the capital to bring a fighter like Rosinski here to South Africa. I mean, he's going to call on a lot of people. I think he's going to be calling on the sponsors, you know, the Department of Tourism, Department of Sport, possibly, hopefully. I'm sure he's going to reach out to them to try and make the big fight happen in South Africa. And I hope he's able to do that, because Golden Gloves they deserve it. You know, they've been putting on great boxing. They've got the most world champions out of any promoter. You know, they've promoted the likes of Dingaan, Tobela, Sugarboy Malinga. Those were our last 2 WBC champions, and I just hope to follow in those guys' footsteps, because Dingaan Tobela is great. He's one of my favorite fighters. I mean, I love Dingaan. I still have a relationship with him to this day. I was with him 2 weeks ago, and he's a great. You know, the Rose of Soweto. And if I can just follow in his footsteps, it's great for Golden Gloves. And I believe, you know, I'll be Rodney Berman's last WBC champion, because Rodney Berman, you know, obviously he's 80 years old now, and he's maybe going to promote for, who calls it, another 5-10 years, if you know, and I just want to be his next WBC champion, or his last WBC champion, and South Africa's third. So I think Rodney Berman's doing great for the sport, and if he can bring that fight here, it will be amazing. So to the sponsors and those that he's able to reach out to, I just hope they can make it happen. If not, we get on a plane, we go to Poland, and we rumble across the pond.
Come on. I know the Minister of Sports, Zizi Godwe, you're listening.
Yes.
All of the people that work in the office of the Sports Minister, Arts, Culture, and, you know, and everything else. The only culture we want is for the fight to come here. And your dream will certainly come true. I have no doubts about that, Kevin. And I think, just in closing, what's the biggest wish?
My biggest wish as a fighter be to become heavyweight world champion again, or to get a shot at the heavyweight world title. You know, not overlooking bridgerweight, but become bridgerweight world champion. That's obviously first step of the mission. And I think the mission accomplished will be South African fighting for the heavyweight world title again. The last one to do it was Corrie.
Yes.
And 13 years later, I got the opportunity. We need to continue and say, well, I had that opportunity. Now we're looking for another one. So I'm here to bash the doors down, and just to leave behind a legacy. You know, South Africa's got great fighters. I mean, we spoke about it earlier. Nonchinga, you know, there's a lot of Zolani Tete is one of my favorite fighters. He's a southpaw, obviously a bit older than me, so he's towards the end of his career, but he's a terrific fighter. I think we just need to realize that South Africa has the talent. We just need the opportunity and the assistance to market these fights better, because we've got good fighters, and I just know that my objective in the sport of boxing was to break that door down, was to put the asses in seats again, to create hype around the sport. And I'd like to say and believe that Saturday night was testament to that. The people were electric. The people were chanting Zulu songs, singing Shosholoza, and that made me proud. If you go look there, it made me proud. It said, you know, this is South Africa. Sport brings people together, and I'm just proud to be South African. I think we can do it more, and we should be doing it more.
And if you get that fight in South Africa, one of the things I'll promise you is something called the Gwijo squad. You see them in action when it's rugby or cricket as well.
They've been to one of my fights too.
There's the leader right here.
CJ. A friend of mine, CJ. He you know CJ? You see? Yeah. What does he always say to me? She was at my fight shouting, Kwadin. He's always there supporting, and
beautiful.
I love it. This is South Africa. We bring people together. Man. Sport changes lives, but sport is what brings our country together, and I'm just grateful to have been given that opportunity to do that. And that's my legacy, I'd say, is bringing people together and paving the way for other fighters.
Let's make this fight happen. WBC Bridgerweight Silver Champion Kevin Lerina, ladies and gentlemen. Kev, good to see you. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Rob.
Appreciate your time.
Marawa Sports Worldwide Live on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live. #MSW.
Welcome to your best life, your time in paradise. It's ladies' night out, and you're dressed to slay. High heels, red dresses, big hats to hide your gray. The finest foods and wines, so order at your will. But bring your bifocals so you can read out the bill.
Wouldn't you rather live the life you dream of sooner? Good things come to those who don't wait to invest. Coronation Trust is earned. Coronation is a registered FSP.
Life's harder nowadays. Interest rates on the incline, petrol pump panic, and that load-shedding life. You know what's easy? Lulalend. Literally. Lula means easy. And if you need business funding of up to 5 million rand, get that moolah with Lula. Up
Apply online in minutes and receive your funds in less than 48 hours. No paperwork, no collateral, no hidden costs. Visit lulalend.co.za and give your business some Lula love. It's easy. T's and C's apply.
Save big on fresh at Food Lovers Market with Big Deal Wednesday. Buy 2 1 kg tomato thrift packs for 25 Rand and get 2 lettuce pre-packs absolutely free. That's 2 tomato thrift packs for 25 Rand and 2 lettuce pre-packs free. And enjoy delicious stewing beef at just 69.99 per kilo. Valid this Wednesday only at all inland Food Lovers Market stores. The best in fresh, guaranteed.
In my business, I was always told, look before you leap. I'm more like leap before you look, because if you spend too much time looking, you'll end up not leaping, and besides, the vantage point from the air is much better. So leap, man, leap.
Become a Sage customer like Miles and set up your business to fly with our helpful accounting, HR, and payroll tools. Visit sage.com today. Sage, helping business flow.
The UEFA Champions League is here, and Pepsi is proud to bring you all the action and excitement. If you're thirsty for more epic saves, iconic goals, big calls from the ref, and even bigger cheers from the crowd, it's time to change your drink. Pepsi is here to make sure that every UCL moment is filled with more taste and refreshment. Pepsi, thirsty for more.
Tsogo-san proudly presents our new online betting platform, Play Tsogo. Play exclusive new games such as Blue Wizard or Buffalo Blitz and stand a chance to win payouts of up to 12 million Rand with welcome bonuses of up to 5,000 Rand. It's time to play Tsogo. Play Tsogo is licensed by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No under 18s. Winners know when to stop. Toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
As they call him, the engineer, Harisi Ali Said, is here with me in studio, the president of Young Africans SC.
I've been with the team for 3 years as a leader.
Correct.
But now it's just 1 year of being a president.
The president, correct.
My first season, we became number 2 in the league. We signed like 7 players and we became number 2. My second season, I add more 10 players, in total 17. And then we become champions. That was last season. It's easy for me to bring any player, even from South Africa.
So the player from South Africa that you want, and I'm pushing it because of time, is it somebody you can say yes or no? From Chiefs, Pirates, or Sundowns?
No.
Top striker?
Top striker.
Top goal scorer right now?
Robert, you're killing me now.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Marawa Sports Worldwide. This is 947. Music, life, hashtag MSW.
Yeah, the champ is out of the building. A big thanks there to Kevin Lerina. They say it's an all-Italian job tonight. Trole promises to be. I mean, these two sides have met gazillion times, 236 times previously in all competitions, with Inter Milan winning 88, AC Milan 79. And without wasting much time, let me head off to Italy. Let me go to Milan. Heading off to San Siro. Stefano Vigoriti is standing by. I know that he is en route, so the line might not be at its clearest, but he'll do his best to make sure that we get the clarity that we deserve and he deserves, and that the encounter deserves tonight. Stefano, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Robert. Good evening to all your listeners. Glad to be back in Milan.
Glad to be back in Milan. Round 2, it's 2-goal deficit. What are you expecting?
Well, I'm expecting what every Inter Milan fan expects, to have a very, very tough game, because AC Milan will come with a bit between their teeth, and they'll come out guns blazing. They have no other choices. They have to score goals, and they have to score them, not straight away, but within the first 20 minutes. And I think Inter, who likes to sort of command the play, I hope they're not going to be too slow into making up the play today, because Leao is going to be playing, and the Portuguese star is definitely the major threat of an AC Milan really looking for revenge after they got defeated at home last Wednesday.
Yeah, and I know you're probably trying to cover the mouthpiece with your hand there, Stefan. I'm going to say, let's take a chance. Let's let it go so that I can get the clarity. Talk about the Portuguese superstar. He was watching on the sidelines of, the last time out, wearing his hat over his head, and people wondering if he's going to make it through. Now it is confirmed. He will be there. What kind of difference will he make given the kind of season he's had?
I think first and foremost, it will make a difference mentally. I think everybody was waiting for Leao as the possible solution to the problems that AC Milan has had of late in scoring. So first of all, mentally, today he tried out and it was fine. So obviously the trainers and the sort of physiotherapists of AC Milan have confirmed his availability. Obviously, it's still up to Stefano Pioli to decide whether he's going to start the game or not. But I'm pretty confident that he will have to throw him in as soon as possible in order to obviously sort of threaten the inter-defense, especially from the left-hand side, where obviously Dumfries and Damian will have to sort of work double time to stop the likes of Theo Hernandez and Leao.
Edin Dzeko seems to have an appetite for scoring against this particular opposition. He's done it, 3 times now. But there's also a certain other older gentleman in Oliver Giroud who also going to be fighting hard to make his name in the headlines. Who of the two do you believe that the night is set for them?
Well, last week it was Edin Dzeko's night. But I mean, again, we are looking at 2 players well in their 30s and sort of still at the top of their game, even though Oliver Giroud hasn't scored of late much. But let's not forget that he likes to score against the Inter Milan, so it might just be that tonight, it's his time. But it's something that happens with the teams, and it's quite extraordinary that we're witnessing a Champions League semi-final with 2 strikers, maybe not the main strikers, because obviously there are one side and Lautaro Martinez on the other side. The 2 supporting strikers are over 35s, and that gives you an idea of where Italian soccer is, if these guys can still make a difference, not only in Italy, but also in Europe.
All right. I know, as I said, it's not the best line because you are mobile right now, heading over to the San Siro Stadium. An exciting spectacle it turned out to be last time round. And we hope for everything of the best. Stefano, maybe give me your final score prediction. Who will be through to that final?
You know you're not going to get me into that.
I need to squeeze it out of you.
No, you won't be able to squeeze it out of me. I'm just saying that tomorrow there will be a lot of people booking their tickets to Istanbul. I just hope to be one of them. But I mean, we can't say. That is the story. I hope it will be a great game because as we were predicting last week when we chatted, Real Madrid, Manchester City was definitely a better game overall than what Inter versus AC was last week. Because the first half was great, the second half wasn't as good as. So I just hope that tonight the billing will be top of the top and let the best team win. Obviously, our colors are black and blue, so I don't have to tell you who I support. But I just want Italian soccer to have a good night and a spectacle. It will be, I think it's 12 million euro just for this game that Inter Milan will pocket. It's been the highest grossing game ever in Italy. So that should really deserve a great spectacle for all people at home and at the stadium.
All right, do share some of those exciting photos that you normally take inside the stadium. Stefano Vigorito, Italian football expert, live from Milan. Stefano, thank you so much indeed for your time, man. Enjoy the game.
Thanks, Robert, and I'll give you a call on Thursday when I'm back.
Thank you so much there, Stefano Vigoriti, Italian football expert, coming through live from Milan. You can tell he's en route. He makes his way there nice and early to get the best seat at the venue. Not that that makes a difference because he always gets the best seats. All right, let's look back at this day in history. The 16th of May 2015, the quickest ever hat-trick in the Premier League was scored by Southampton's Sadio Mane. On the Saturday, that day, the 16th of May 2015, 3 goals were scored in 2 minutes, 56 seconds. It was a 6-1 defeat of Aston Villa at St. Mary's. If you remember, the Senegal International's 176-second record kind of beat the previous best, which had stood for nearly 21 years. Robbie Fowler had scored all of Liverpool's goals in their 3-0 victory over Arsenal at Anfield on Sunday, the 28th of August, 1994, in 4 minutes and 33 seconds. All right, what we're going to try and do is get the chairman of Maritzburg United. I'm going to try and call him now because, as you know, that Maritzburg United are playing Mamelodi Sundowns, the league champions this season. But yeah, the Marawa Scorpions have just gotten word that they are going to play the game. Remember, this is match day 30. All the teams must be playing at the same time. But because Sundowns obviously got to play CAF Champions League, you got Marumo Gallants as well, got to play the CAF Confed Cup. So they won't be playing all at the same time on the same day. Which again, I say, kind of sits unfairly on Maritzburg United because by the time match day 30 kicks around, for all the teams battling relegation, it will be problematic. So I'm going to go across to Farouk Kadodia, who is the chairman of Maritzburg United. He is at the venue as we speak. Farouk, thank you so much for your time. I know it's last minute, but when I got the news that the game will go ahead, but you're going to be playing it under what? What is it that you formally lodged with the league?
Look, we after we turned down on Friday from the Exco, we then decided that today to officially lodge a protest, just to show exactly our feelings of the situation, that we are being really hurt about playing a game 4 days before the competitors that are fighting relegation are playing.
I know I've taken a stance that I also feel that it's unfair on you. And by the time match day 30 happens over the weekend for everybody else, they will have an idea of what they need to do. I mean, in all your time and experience, when the league has come to an end, yes, I know about CAF, I know about what's happening with Marumo Gallants and Sundowns, but surely there should have been ways and means to accommodate that everybody finishes the season at the same time.
Yes, look, I was disappointed with the explanation that the Exco gave us, one of which was that this was the alternative date when the fixtures were issued in July. We really feel that the fixtures set up in July was not related because at the end of the day, the matches that was how the season would have ended up in nobody's hands. And this would have been reviewed the moment game 27 or game 28 arose. And before game 29, we wrote to the Exco and explained to them that it's totally unfair to play this match 4 days early. And more than anything else is that we cannot control exactly the fixtures, because my biggest point that I have here is that the broadcaster is always at the forefront to put the clubs down as a perfect excuse. For me, in this case here, whether it's the BMI or whatever the interest that the broadcaster will have, 3 relegation games on one night or one afternoon will create a massive public interest to watch the matches. And for the broadcaster to allow this to continue also, it was disappointing.
Playing the game, is it under protest? I know that there's legal terms under protest, under dispute, etc., etc. What is it that come end of 90 minutes, let's say and I hope it doesn't happen, that the result goes against you. What is a likely outcome having put this protest forward formally?
Look, we will weigh our options. We've explained to the league in this protest, or we've replied to the league in this protest of all their reasons why they must change this. And we responded with our version of what we believe is totally unfair and unjust. So come 90 minutes tonight, we will see exactly which is the best option that we need to exercise, which we've listed on the protest.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you get beat, let's say tonight, you're playing match day 30 and you stay on 29 points. Come Saturday, Chipper United know what they need to do. Even if they get a draw, it gets them to 30, depending on what, obviously, Marumo, Richards Bay, they also get up to. So you almost kind of feel dead and buried, and that the rest are going to be playing for position number 15.
Look, I think immediately one has to understand that this protest is not totally about based on the results. It's based on the principle that why we are playing tonight. That's what we are disappointed about. So the result is immaterial. The fact that we are playing tonight is what we are hurt.
Just quickly, as you talk about the principle, though, there's a cup game, Nedbank Cup, that I'm sure could have been shifted around, made time for, so that you could all play match day 30 at the same day, because you're just dealing with the final. It's one game. It can be played anytime.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think even the Sundowns raised their own opinion of moving the Netherlands a week later. Because they wanted the fans to kind of celebrate their trophy. And they also will decline that request.
Yeah, it does seem a bit...
Also, the other issue we had was the fact that Marumo played the 29 game a few days early. And we were told that, Marumo also were disadvantaged of game 29. But I'm telling you very clear, Robert, that was Marumo's decision not to object. We had no hand in that. So we can't compare Marumo's decision of playing, whether it was their pressure they had with CAF or not. But you can't give us an explanation that Marumo were disadvantaged of game 29.
Okay, good luck tonight. Thank you so much, Farouk. Appreciate your time. All right, I could tell that Waze is telling him exactly how to get to Loftus. Wishing him the best of luck. Tough one indeed for him.
Marawa Sports Worldwide Live on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live.